This match is going to be a great example of switching up your comeback, but also hitting a lot of your unique signature moves as well. The story being told is who's the better wrestler, regardless of who's the champion, because they're both respective champions. These two had a great match. I don't see anything wrong with much of this match. The only thing I don't like is JBL, but I think that's just because I hate him. That's the one champion I hate forever. I'm a big fan of utilizing that small camera angle to get the promo over. It's an 8 to 12 second promo or something. I feel like that would add a lot. That would be really interesting to see more along the lines of an indie wrestling. Simple arm drag demonstrates better wrestler usually. I think JBL's really interesting here, but also I think he goes a little too into business for himself. So arm wringer into fireman's carry, so they're mirroring each other basically 1-to-1. So right now we're technically in the shine, but we're not actually just letting the babyface outshine the heel. We're more so demonstrating how the two compare, right? So he was getting out wrestled there, so he used a strike. So he's faster, he's more athletic, he's a better wrestler. And now Rey Mysterio threw a strike. So the babyface was the second one to throw a strike. And see, he didn't be a coward, he just took advantage of the rules that he knows. It's not cheating, and it might be seen as a little bit of a cowardly way out, but I don't think that would be fair to say. Yeah, calling the world champion stupid is not really great. And see, so when you're in the shine and you're looking to set up stuff like that, you have to kind of figure out what your moveset is. So the first thing we seen was the Hurricanrana, and now we're getting into the baseball slide. So weird. See, now as a result, Gregory Helms didn't even have to cheat to get the advantage. It was more about JBL, which is the story they're trying to tell here. If the goal wasn't to push the Cruiserweight champion to become a heavyweight champion at some point, I don't understand what they're exactly doing here. But with the neckbreaker there, that would have been pretty much the heat spot. But the cutoff would have been when he was clotheslined onto the outside, and now we're getting into like a rest hold, which is really cool, unique. Like, there's no way that's considered a rest hold. Look, he's bending over backwards. Not everybody on the roster can do that even. And see, the problem with Rey Mysterio's positioning here was that they would start chanting Eddie as opposed to Rey. So this is a hope spot, so he's gonna sit out slam, backbreaker. Helms is so smart. And see, now they're chanting for Eddie. I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like they should be chanting for the babyface, right? The person that they want to win, not the person that they wish was here. This would be considered the double down. And then right into the comeback here, I think. That's weird. Usually he'll do more. I don't know if Rey Mysterio at this time was doing the typical roll through sidekick thing that he was doing, because this is 15 years ago. So you can see how people evolve their comebacks, and some people stay the same. Like Cena's was almost always the same, but with this match you can kind of do something different because Rey Mysterio's 99% of the time going to be the overly smaller person. At least this way he's a little bit more competitively sized. And then the better wrestler, or the opportunist, maybe a weird spot there, had to make sure his shoulder was right. That kind of sucked up the momentum, but it's your job to make sure your shoulders get down. So this is a way to have a not flowy comeback. It's very up and down. It doesn't just smoothly transition from clothesline, 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 body slam, come on baby. So this would be considered a false finish right here. It's a big move after the comeback. Let's go to the comeback spot. So this is the fire up, back me up to the rope, send me off, I'll wheelbarrow into a double down. And the purpose of this was just to get to the double down. So now they're in the double down and Rey's gonna roll to the outside just to do a quick cover, which is really interesting. You don't see a lot of comebacks being just that one move or like a succession of pins, but it is a lot different. And if you're looking to spice up your comeback and actually diversify from your generic training, this is a good match to look at. So this would constitute as a false finish, I believe. I found that as a false finish because the crowd was pretty good there. Oh. That's one of the fun ones. So look at right there, that's a bad timing. Rey Mysterio's timing was off there, or Gregory Helms should have waited a second. I went to give someone a big boot, but I had to wait till they turned around like a half second. So I waited that half second as I was putting my foot up, and the camera angle was able to fix it and make it look better. So sometimes in post, you're able to actually overlook those smaller mistakes and be safer. And even if they don't, what's the worst thing that could happen? He waited till his opportunity was right anyway. It really doesn't matter as long as you're being safe. And just that little hesitation, that's so professional. Just because your timing is bad together doesn't mean you have to be dangerous. Like, He could have kept running, and just kicked him right in the back of the head. I'm like, oh, sucks to sucks, Ray. Sorry, brother. Confidence to know that timing's messed up, stop and wait, and then fix it. It's perfect. That's what you want. One time I was going to do a suicide dive, the one time I've ever done one, because I don't like them, and I bet you can guess why. The guy on the outside was taking way too long, in my opinion, and I was like, okay, so he's clearly blind feeding me to turn right into it. By the time I hit the ropes and then went to go through, he hadn't turned around yet. So clearly I was supposed to wait for him, but I thought he was waiting for me. So there was that miscommunication there, and that was my fault because I was the one doing the move and I could have hurt him. Maybe as the vet, they should have been more aware that I might rush it, but we were having a good match. So it's like, you can't really determine one way or the other who's going to be slow or fast on that kind of stuff. Sometimes you just have to be patient and wait. So when I did the dive, I didn't fully commit, and I was supposed to get stopped anyway, but he didn't really stop me. I just kind of stopped myself because my feet got caught up in the ropes because I wasn't going to do the dive, but I ended up doing it, and it did not turn out well. And this match is going to be a great example of switching up your comeback, but also hitting a lot of your unique signature moves as well. The story being told is who's the better wrestler, regardless of who's the champion, because they're both respective champions. These two had a great match. I don't see anything wrong with much of this match. Interesting. The only thing I don't like is JBL, but I think that's just because I hate him. That's the one champion I hate forever. And that's how good of a heel JBL is. But now I'm talking about JBL at the end of their match. Not a great thing. Not a great thing.